UFC Fight Night Medic versus Rodriguez wrapped up, and this was an unreal card. Generational. The most finishes on a UFC card ever, I'm pretty sure. It had 12 finishes. Every fight was a fucking banger. This card was awesome. I loved every moment of it. Probably the most fun I've had watching a UFC card ever, or in a very... No, the White House peaks this. But in a very long time, I've not had a card that was this fun. Let's start with the main event. Medic KO'd, oh, what a $7 billion company, guys. Can't do their shit properly. Medic flattened Rodriguez in 30 seconds. I mean, this was kind of the expectation now. Medic wasn't expected to knock him out in 30 seconds. He was expected to win, you know. D-Rod really isn't the best fighter. He's very hittable, very sloppy. He's just not the best. He's 39, coming off a year layoff. Fucking hell, Kevin Holland, bro. Kevin Holland is shit, man. Losing to D-Rod, bro. Like, D-Rod really ain't the best. Like, he lost to Kelvin Gaston. He went to a split decision with Morono. Like, he really ain't that good. And Medic is probably the most dangerous one round fighter in this division or in the sport. He's kill or be killed, you know? And he's on a great win streak right now. He's a good technical striker, and he has ridiculous power. He's a bit of a glass cannon, but that cannon hits like a fucking truck. So I'm excited for Medic's future here. He's a future star on our hands here, potentially. Super fun fighter. He has a good personality. He speaks on the mic well. You know, he's good at getting the fans involved. And this was a brilliant performance from Medic, you know. For a main event, I kind of wanted to see more. But, you know, this was a great performance. Yeah, well, it wasn't like the Jeff Neal. It wasn't a super nasty KO. But it was a good TKO. D-Rod... one strike, he landed one leg kick, and it was a decent leg kick, but like, it's one strike, bro. I think Medic should fight Leon Edwards next. I think he flatlines him, but it's an interesting fight, you know. I don't think Medic is top level, but he just hits like a fucking truck, and he's a good striker. Bit chinny though, so I think that's going to be a problem against the Carlos Prateses or the Moraleses, you know. But at this level, he's going to dominate them all. How good's Punahele Soriano? How good's Muktabek Orabai? Muktabek Orabai beat Medic and Tafik Musayev, bro. That guy's a fucking beast outside the rankings. So yeah, very quick main event. Can't talk about too much, but you know, great performance from Medic, man. Great performance from Medic. I'm excited for his future. Wow, this shocked me. I knew Navajo could win. And the odds were right, I guess. I thought the odds were well off. I didn't rate Navajo at all. I thought he was pretty shit. Unreal performance from Navajo Sterling. I was fucking shocked, man. I know Jan is old as fuck, and people are saying this win isn't that good. This is an amazing win. Yes, Jan, he's always been old, but he's 43. He's obviously not in his prime anymore, but at 42, 41, 40, went razor close with Alex Pereira, had a draw with Ankalaev. He arguably beat Carlos Olberg, very, very close, and he went to a draw with Guskov. Like, Jan is a good fighter. And he looked decent for the first couple of minutes. You know, he landed a jab. He dropped Navajo Sterling with a flush jab right on the nose. But then, Navajo Sterling throws a left hook. That doesn't really land. And a right hand down the pipe. Fucking rocks Jan bad. He goes on the ground and lands nasty elbows, TKOing him, having blooded up. I couldn't believe this, bro. This has shocked me. I knew he could win, and I was like, this is a close fight, but I'm going to go with Jan here because I thought he'd be crafty, and I just didn't think Navajo was at that level, bro. Like, Ion Kutalaba did better. Tuko Tokos, bro, he couldn't finish Tuko Tokos, couldn't finish Ivan Ursulan. I didn't think he was this good. You know, before this year started, he had only decisions, 3 decision wins. I thought the Kutalaba fight, I thought he looked shit in that fight. I really did. I thought that was a shit performance. I thought he had terrible fight IQ in that Kutalaba fight. Kept trying to take him down when you have a big advantage on the feet, you know. But Sterling is good. I rewatched his Bruno Lopez fight recently. That was a good performance. But even he did better, dude. So I know light heavyweight is one shot can change everything. But this was an amazing performance from Sterling. Shocked the shit out of me. I couldn't believe this, bro. This was genuinely insane. Navajo Sterling, KO win over Jan. Didn't see that one coming. Did not see that one coming. But yeah, Sterling's it's going to be awkward between him and Olberg coming up because I think they train at the same gym, right? I'm pretty sure they do, and they're like friends. That's going to be awkward. I don't know if he's going to be the next Merab Aljo situation here, but yeah. He is young, so he's 28. He can wait a little bit, but I think he deserves a #1 contender fight next. I mean, this was an amazing performance on short notice. He was at like a fucking bender in Japan, right? Like 3 weeks ago. So stepping up on 2 weeks' notice, fucking paid off. Amazing performance from Navo, and good for the light heavyweight division. Because although I was rooting for Yan, I like Yan. I like both of them though. I wasn't like I hate any of them, but I just didn't rate Navajo Sterling. I thought he was a pretty overrated prospect. I didn't say he was shit, but I didn't think he would hang with any of these guys like a Jan Blachowicz, you know, despite his age. But proved me wrong, and you know, with all the injuries of Jan, he has to retire now 100%. He's been injured so many times, but he's been injured before and he came back pretty decent, so, you know. Like, it's not like, you can discredit the win. This is not a prime Yan, but it's still a pretty good version of Yan has been showing up recently. And, you know, Navajo, an amazing win. I'll be excited to see what's next for him. Deserves. He called out Roundtree and Ankalaev, and not Ankalaev, but I think he should fight Ankalaev. He called out Roundtree and Costa. Dude, he would fuck up both of them, especially Khalil Roundtree. These odds were correct. Great performance for Navajo Sterling, amazing. Let's fuck Alexander Rakic, dude. The guy's a bitch. This was the only fight on the card that was pretty boring. I don't know if it's the opponent, but I thought Marcin Tybura looked pretty decent in this fight. He was landing shots on him, landing his teep kicks. You know, in the last couple fights he's had against Fortune and who else did he fight? Ante Delia, he looked absolutely terrible. But I thought in this fight, Tybura showed up. He had the dog in him this time. You know, I like Tybura. He's a blob. He's a funny. He's just a goat, bro. But yeah, Rakic pieces him up for 3 rounds. I thought Tybura won the second round. We go to round 1. He clearly won the second. I gave this round to Tybura. I thought he landed the better shots. But, you know, it was a shit fight, let's be honest. And round 3, Rakic, you're a terrorist to the sport, bro. You're at home in Serbia. The guy's hellbent on smudging him up against the fence for 3 minutes. Fucking bitch, Rakic is, dude. No urgency. I know he's off the 4 losses, so maybe now is like he wants to just secure the win and don't take any chances. I get that. But you're at home in Serbia. They might not go to Serbia again. Maybe they will with how good this fucking card was. But, like, it's fucking insane, man. Smudging him against the fence for the last 3 minutes. Boring as fuck. This was a pretty shit fight. Rakic won, you know. Rakic was the most unathletic, athletic guy I've seen in my life. He was moving like a blob. Moving like a blob in there. He's very hittable, pretty slow, I thought. You know, this is Marcin Tybura in your debut. I think you should look better than that. Debut at heavyweight. Marcin Tybura, especially recently, has been looking really, really shit. He's 40 years old. He's never been good, and he never will. And he's just getting even worse. He's always been the gatekeeper, and Rakic didn't look all impressive. He won. I thought he won 2-1. You know, you could have given it 30-27, but it was a pretty mid performance from Rakic, to be honest. Back in the win column, maybe this will help with his momentum, you know, help with his mindset. Now he's mentally won, but Rakic won at home and is still after the fight getting a pop from the crowd despite being the most boring cunt ever. But, you know, Rakic won, pieced him up. Look at these 2 cans. Dusko Todorovic versus Robert Valentin. So, basic grappling back and forth for the first round. Only went 1 round. They're just both scrambling back and forth. Valentin early on had him in a really tight guillotine. That was really tight. And then they're both reversing each other. And then Robert Valentin eventually end of the round, sinks in a guillotine, and Dusko has to tap. Not much else to say here. These 2 guys are complete cans. They're never going to be anything. Valentin's on a 2-fight win streak, low, so maybe he can become something. But let's be real. They're both shit. Dusko needs to go. Dusko's one of the worst fighters in the UFC. Just complete trash. He's been trash his whole career, you know. Robert Valentin, pretty shit as well. He has a record of 12-6 now, so he's ass. These guys both suck. But Valentin has some good BJ. He's got some good jiu-jitsu. He's on the way. I like him. He's a cool person. You know, in the interview, it was quite awkward for Dusko having to stand there with Valentin. I found that very awkward. If I just lost, I would never agree to some shit like that. But Valentin won. Very quick finish. Another quick finish on the card. And it was a good performance, but he's never going to be shit. It's just like, who cares? Vlasto Capo. Gilbert Urbina win in 2026. The ultimate fraud check. I'll be real, I didn't fucking know Capo. I knew he fought like a retard, though. And he showed that. He charged in at Urbina, spamming hooks, just swinging hooks, chin up in the air, swinging hooks. I think he landed 1 hook on Urbina, like, kinda. He landed 1 shot that rocked him a little bit. He kept hitting the shoulder and the arms. He didn't land clean. And Urbina stayed reasonably calm. He looked composed. Put out the jab. He landed a couple jabs, and Capo, stiff jab, he falls down, and then Urbina ground and pound finishes him. I fuck with Gilbert Urbina, you know? He shouldn't really be in the UFC. He has a record at 8-5 now. The title run starts now. Gilbert Urbina, dude, Khamzat Chimaev, Drakish, Sean Strickland, count your days. Gilbert Urbina is coming in, dude. I want him to have a win streak from his. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but I'll fuck with him. Good performance. Capo, the ultimate fraud. What the fuck? How the fuck has he won that many fights with that style? Like, he looked fucking terrible. He got a big pop from the crowd, but Jesus, this guy was shit, dude. Capo, fraud checked by Gilbert Urbina, dude. Big upset win here. Capo is a fraud and completely trash. Noah Gagon versus Milos Janicic. This was a good performance from Gagon. Kind of an injury thing, but it was a legit. It wasn't like Chito Vera, Sean O'Malley. This was like a legitimate. He actually caused it properly. Like Vera O'Malley was literally a toe punt. This was like a real leg kick. So Noah Gagon lands a nasty leg kick on his lead leg that really fucks up his knee and his leg, some nerve issue. I don't know what it was, but he couldn't stand on it. He was like doing the Henry Cejudo thing where he started rolling his ankle, and then I don't know if it was the other leg. I think it was the other leg. He went to throw a body kick, and the soft part of the foot landed right on the elbow of Noah Gagon, and it fucks up both of his feet. He can't stand, he falls over. Noah Gagon takes him down, follows him down. I thought it was a bit dumb, but he gets a rear naked choke regardless. Good performance. It was a bit of a weird type TKO, you know. It wasn't like super entertaining or anything. He was kind of injured, but he did cause the injury. So it was a legit win. It's not Max Holloway, Conor McGregor. It's not Chito Vera, Sean O'Malley. Even though Vera caused it, it was like a fucking toe punt, like a complete fluke. Yeah, Milos Janicic's feet were fucked. Noah Gagon, good performance. God, this card was... Tafik Musayev, Ludovic Klein. Tafik Musayev as an underdog again. Look at this freak. Pulls it off. I was high on Ludovic Klein. Wow, this was a brilliant performance from Tafik. Amazing. He beat, how good is Muktabek Orabai? Beating Medic and Tafik. I already said that. That was a fucking sick win. Tafik's very good, dude. He's 36, but the age, as he said, it's just a number. It doesn't seem to be affecting him. Damn, Ludovic Klein had a stinker here, though. I don't know, since he fucked his foot against Rebecca, he was kind of hesitant to throw a bit. Maybe he was a bit worried about that injury he had, but Tafik pieced him up on the feet, didn't get any, tried to take him down, didn't get any, didn't really need to. Tafik just putting boxing combinations on him. Round one, what's the round one numbers? What? Tafik, I'm remembering Tafik clearly outlanding him. Tafik had a slammingly inside low kick of Ludovic Klein, really nasty. Over and over again, slammingly inside low kick, slammingly inside leg. It would really show effect on Ludovic Klein, get him out of position. Landed good combinations. The round two, I can't remember what it was, bro, but he puts a combination on him, boxing combination. I think it might have been a 1-2-3, something like that. And then Ludovic Klein gets wobbled, follow-up shots, he falls down. Tafik pulls it off. Probably should have deserved a performance bonus here. I was pretty confident Klein was going to piece him up, Pretty confident Klein was going to piece him up. And Tafik, very, very good win. Bit dirty, didn't cheat in this fight, though. Just respect, didn't cheat in this fight. Dude, Tafik Musayev is actually a problem in this division, and he's got one last run at him to get to, top 10 level. I think he should stay active. I think he should get straight back in there, took no damage, getting back in that October Abu Dhabi time against, I don't even know, but someone just outside the rankings to push him to the top. It was an amazing performance from Tafik Musayev. He did very well there. And shocked me. I thought, I was confident Klein was going to fuck him up for 3 rounds, but, Tafik did amazing. He's a top fighter. Orban Elliott needs to be cut from the UFC now. What is these like Damian Pinas, Tabor Gautier, now Michael Oliveira, especially Pinas and Oliveira, they hit like fucking trucks. This guy has ridiculous power, dude. Like Orban Elliott landed like 3 or 4 overhands on him and they did nothing. Look at this, look at the build on him. There's something with these guys. Like, how was he human, bro? It's ridiculous. So really patient. Oliveira pushing him back, being very patient. Orban Elliott's landing a few shots. And then Michael Oliveira lands a stiff jab. Wasn't even that stiff of a jab. Drops Orban Elliott. Back to patience. I'm pretty sure it was a 1-2. The jab didn't really land, but the 2 landed big. Orban fell down, then follow-up shots. Michael Oliveira. I don't know how the fuck he makes 185. 170, bro. He looks like a 185er at least. He is fucking massive. He's yoked. He's going to be a problem, and I would have fought in this division. Orban Elliott, definitely not the best, but he's a decent fighter, you know. And I feel bad for Orban Elliott. A year and a half ago, 3-0 in the UFC, just knocked out Basel Lopez at UFC 309 at MSG. He was looking like one of the better unranked welterweights. And now he's lost 3 in a row, and that's probably the end of his UFC career, you know. How quickly can it change from when you're the prospect to now they're feeding you to prospects just a year and a bit later? So, yeah. Orban Elliott gets fucked up badly, yeah. Michael Oliveira, dude, that guy is a fucking tank, dude. Absolute tank. No fight of the night bonus. They gave out 4 performance bonuses. But yeah, on the Abu Dhabi card, they gave Tyron Fortune a fight of the night bonus. This should have been a fight of the night bonus. This was a crazy scrap. Borislav Nikolic, you know, $7 billion. What do you expect, guys? It's only $7 billion, you know. Okay, I guess we'll break it down here. This was an insane fight. Borislav Nikolic, you know, saying you're the taller fighter. You want to keep it at range, right? Use your jab. He said, fuck all that. Round 1. Charges in like a retard. Mark Vologdin, a little imp, lands a fucking full swing overhand right. Rocked Borislav really badly. Then he gets him in front headlock. And then smashes like, I'd say at least 10 knees into him. They weren't the most powerful knees. But at least 5-10 knees into him. This was a crazy scrap, dude. Yeah, round 1 was a clear Vologdin round. But Nikolic started pressing him back. You know, started being smarter towards the end of the round. And it was a very fun run. Round 2, Borislav starts developing an IQ. Later on, he starts developing an IQ, landing the jab. Still being scrappy, still charging in like a tard. He got clipped in this round, but Nikolic did win this round, pumping out the jab, using straight shots, you know. Then round 3 was a very, very dominant Nikolic round. I rocked him badly towards the end of the round. Had him in a rear naked choke. That was in, but he got saved by the bell. That was literally completely in. And this is probably the end of Mark Vologdin, right? He's not really UFC level. I picked him to win this fight because I don't fucking know Nikolic. You know, I don't know him at all. And maybe Vologdin could try one more at flyweight, but you know, Vologdin's very, very fun to watch, but he didn't win on Dana White Contender Series. He lost. He had a draw in his debut. So maybe you could give him one more, but he might get cut. Maybe give him one more fight because he is very entertaining. You could give him one more. This was a really, really fun fight. Deserved fight of the night bonus. An amazing fight. Bogdan Grad. We fucking love Bogdan Grad. Everyone loves him. Fresh trim. New mythical fighter. Bogdan. His trim's unreal, by the way. Looks fucking brilliant. I mean, I don't know if that's his natural hair colour. I have a feeling it might be. Why would he have... By the way, he didn't even get a transplant hair. He could grow hair. When you can look like that with hair, why the fuck would you ever want to be bald? But Bogdan Grad did decent here, you know. I fuck with Bogdan Grad. Had a cute moment with his girlfriend later on. Makes me feel like single. But, you know, he's 30. I'll be there one day, don't worry. Maybe not a UFC fighter, but... round 1, immediately I was like, Dennis Bazooka landed a bit early on, and I was like, shit, he might chin him on the feet because Bogdan's well hittable. Yeah, Bogdan got clipped a couple times. Then round 2, Dennis had more success. So this was a weird finish as well. We'll get onto that. Bogdan Grad takes him down towards the end of the round, controls him. Has him basically TKO'd. He got saved by the bell. He was basically out at the end of the round, you know. Bogdan landed tons of ground and pound. Had him rocked badly. Dennis struggled to get up. He was like sunk back, barely awake, and then barely stood up. Round 2, Dennis was kind of fucking him up. He's a good striker. He's a decent striker, Dennis, you know. But Bogdan Grad ain't the best, is he? But he started landing good shots. He rocked him a little bit. Bogdan pressures in. He's very hittable coming in. Landed a big right hand. Started fucking him up a little bit. But Bogdan eventually drags him down after a bit of a scary moment for us Bogdan Grad fans. A bit of a scary moment. Drags him down. Now, Dennis Bazooka, whatever... You fucking tapped, bro. He was acting like he didn't tap. He tapped like weird. He was like, you could say he was pushing at the leg. To me, it looked like he was like tapping. It was a weird tap, you know? But I see why the referee called it, I think it was the right call. And his face, he was like fucking showing a terrible face, like he's struggling to breathe. Then he tapped. Dennis, you did fucking tap to that choke. You did tap to that choke. And us Bogdangrad fans, he's on his title run now. New hair Bogdangrad. Looked fucking sick. His hair's great. He's a decent fighter, you know. Definitely not the best. He's very hittable coming in, but he's the fucking GOAT. Great performance from Bogdan. Decent. It was a fun finish too. Very fun fight. I picked Karl Prepolak. I did. I really thought he was going to win this. My crafty underdog Prepolak did not pull through. You know, I'm standing on it. Picking Prepolak wasn't that bad of a pick. Prepolak looked pretty good against Dober. He had moments against Benoit. Rebecca has been taking a stupid amount of damage recently. So much scar tissue, but Prepolak, immediately when the fight started, I was like, fucking hell, he looked shit. He's going to get whooped. Rebecca landed a couple shots on the feet. Takes Prepolak down. Had a really shitty TKO, like similar to Ankalaev Guskov, but not as bad. You know, this was more of a vicious TKO. Had him down, landing a bunch of ground and pound. Not the most damaging shots, but kept them up, kept hitting him. And then the referee had to eventually step in because Prepolak started like wilting and he was getting beaten up and the shots were getting bigger. And Prepolak basically wilts and quits. He's not UFC level, needs to be out of the UFC. Drew Dober going forward now and have different looks at him. But he did beat Michael Johnson, so, you know. But yeah, bit of a boring type TKO. He made the Rebecca fight a little bit dull, but... Hey, Rebecca, he's taken so much damage recently. It's good for him just to get a win, you know, without taking all the damage. I kind of glanced over at this fight. Nina Milosevic. Body kick, right? She lands a body kick, then lands a cross to the body, and that's the end of the fight. I don't fucking know her. She looked great, though, Serbian. Maybe a prospect on her hands in this division. You know, the bantamweight division's terrible, so... Jovan Leka versus Popek. Jovan Leka is a fucking tank, bro. So much bigger than Popek. Popek started, like, he was like tit-for-tatting, putting volume on Jovan Leka slightly, because Leka didn't really throw anything going forward, not throwing anything. Popek's landed, throwing a couple of shots. And then Leka throws a body kick, nasty body kick right on the liver. And then Popek goes down, follow-up shots, end of the fight. Good performance from Leka, dude. Good performance from Leka. And then Stefan Luciano gets a sub. I didn't watch this fight, but, you know, good fight. And this was an amazing card. Loved every moment of it, dude. Other than the Rakic fight. Fucking cinema. And these cards that are, like, trash on paper... A lot of the time, they turn out to be bangers. So this was sick. Generational, literally 12 finishes. So amazing fight. And we had a crazy scrap as well, just to be the cherry on the top. That's the end of the fight. Like, subscribe. End of the fight, end of the video. What the fuck am I doing? Like and subscribe. Do all the good stuff. See you next time. Goodbye.